I'm Aaron Asham, and you're watching Nasty Knuckles.
You're listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Sotomayor and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Aurelia?
How you making out?
Oh my goodness, I'm doing all right. Where are you this week? Florida? I don't know.
Old Chad's Ford, PA.
Oh, that's where you are.
Just at home.
Good. I see Baller changed my name back. Thanks, Baller, you dickhead. Hey, the Birds.
The Birds still recovering from that big win.
Oh my God, what a game, dude! Didn't even have to sweat it.
Nice little cushion.
Wow. Seriously, in all seriousness, that was an absolute shit kicking
that
they put on that team, and it was fun to watch, man. Everything. I mean, you talk about obviously not a perfect game, but pretty damn close to a perfect game in a football game. I know they got a couple late touchdowns, but I mean that was after the fact. By the third quarter, I felt like this is over. Near the end. I know there was only one quarter left, but I had a feeling, we talked about it. I had a feeling they were going to win. I just felt like they were going to win, but I didn't know it was going to be pure domination, and it was. My boy Coop, what a pick six. I love that guy, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was I think I mentioned before, I watched like 98% of the game. It's the only game I watched all year, really.
Right.
Parts of a couple others. But it was obviously exciting. I mean, they just I felt the same way. I felt the Eagles were going to win. Didn't exactly think it was going to go down that way, but just the composure, I was actually really observing Jalen Hurts and just like how composed this guy is. Like nothing phases this guy. And then the other side of it, how they were just absolutely just destroying Mahomes. Like they were all over him. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't get out of the scrums and skirmishes and just the pressure and just I don't know. Just it was just awesome to watch and see the energy and see the Eagles win. It's great for Philly, obviously.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you're right about Mahomes. Like obviously he's a great, one of the best already. And he's still got a lot of time left probably in that league. But never seen him. He was missing throws he doesn't miss. You know what I mean? Like he was rattled and it was because of the Eagles. Like it wasn't him. Oh, he had a tough game. Yeah, he had a tough game because of the Eagles. And they forced everything, even little pushes to one of his O linemen to run into him just as he's releasing the ball. It has an effect, right? Like it's just like you going to take a shot, someone hits you as you're shooting. I mean, he missed some passes that he normally doesn't, but it was just awesome. I couldn't believe the intensity of the D and how hard they played and how well they played. It was just fun to watch, man. As a Birds fan.
Totally, and it just keeps reiterating the importance of defense. Like defense wins championships, no matter what sport, right? And what you're talking about, like the pressure. When you put pressure on, in this case, obviously quarterback, but in hockey, you put pressure on any player, but you can make good players make bad plays. Like you only have so much time and space, and if there's no time and space, you're going to make a bad play, or it's going to hit a stick, or it's going to hit a hand. In football. You're going to blow up the breakout pass, or you're going to disturb the flow of what they're trying to do. So you can see that, and obviously real time with the Eagles and the Chiefs there. But that happens in every shift, in every game. In hockey, just the more pressure, the more chance you're going to disturb a breakout or disrupt the pass or disrupt the scoring opportunity. And that's the name of the game. It's defense, right? It's just tried and true. It just never fails, right? I mean,
it's the truth, man. It's it was fun to watch, that's for sure. And it's like also if you put that into a hockey game and you're in the playoffs, that's why people say you have to make it a hard game. for the superstars. And that's what the Eagles did for Mahomes. I mean, he just had a tough day, and it was because of, like you said, that pressure. It was a lot of fun to watch. And then I'll tell you what else was fun. The what?
The celebration?
Well, the Sally's always good, but I was going to say last Friday at the Snider Pro-Am.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. A lot of laughs, a lot of former players and some other players from other teams that played pro. And you at your first shift, you bring one right off the post.
Yeah, sounds about right. At least I hit the post. Usually it's wide.
But you know what? You don't get a shot. You don't get a shot on goal for that, which sucks. But no, you were buzzing out there, and it was nice to see everyone. Mark Gretzky, Johnny Leclerc, Mark Howe. Gosh,
Hartsey,
Hartsey Sharpness, the old big timer, still buzzing around like he just quit playing last week. Yeah,
Chemo.
Yeah, Chemo was so much. I stood with Chemo. It was funny every time he came on or off. He was changing with Mark Howe. So you have two guys with just great personalities, and I couldn't be on the bench with you like we were supposed to do because there were 15 people on that bench. So I walked over and I was just with Joe Watson.
You abandoned me.
Listen, you guys ended up winning the game, but
we did.
It was just funny. How he would come off. He still just floats on the ice, man. I'm not sure how old Howie is, but he looks great. He's in really good shape, and he just floats on the ice. And I don't think he gets tired out there. It's so funny, but
he's efficient.
Yeah, there was a guy out there that actually we got to get Ball to throw a picture up if he has one. He had one of the coolest visors I've ever seen, and he had he had the blonde mud chops. I forget his name. I apologize. But,
Ernst, I think was the last name.
Was that what it was? Yeah. Well, he got the puck in a corner, and for those of people listening or watching don't know, like in hockey, a big thing is when a guy has a pass coming his way, guys will jump up on the bench and be like, "Hit him!" They scream, "Hit him!" In hockey, and this poor guy, he can barely. He's having a tough time out there skating. Of course, he's playing with pros too, but I didn't expect it, but Chemo's so damn funny. Like someone's passing it to him and it's coming, and Chemo leans over and goes, "Hit him!"
Probably sensed a little panic.
Oh my God. I was laughing. I don't even know if he knew what that meant, the guy, but it was so funny. And then I said to Chemo, I was like, remember in the finals, I think we talked about it when Chemo came on with us a couple years ago, but we were playing obviously Chicago in the finals, and Ben Eager, who loved to run people over, he had Chemo dead to rights coming around the net. They were coming around to meet, and he luckily gave him a heads up, Chemo, as he was coming. And so Chemo could kind of protect himself a little bit. He still ran into him. But then I guess a couple, like the next period, Eags was holding the puck on the wall, and Chemo came over just to pin him, and he goes, "Heads up, Eags!" like he was gonna kill him.
You're right, yeah.
But Chemo, what a character, man! It was fun. And Chris Terry and our buddy Bundy was on your team in there, and Pierre Turgeon, Step on my toe.
Eric Nystrom.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, he's still fit.
He was buzzing, hey?
Yeah, you two were buzzing. The two tough guys out there just buzzing around. Yeah. It was great. It was a great time, man, and they did a great job with it. A little dinner after. Riles was eating cupcakes and did cheesesteaks,
chicken fingers and fries, a little cheese sauce. Oh yeah,
get it in you, buddy. Get it in you.
We do got to acknowledge our goaltending. This young guy.
Yeah,
that game could have been 20-7.
It could.
Somehow we won 8-7, but he made some unbelievable stops. Even Sharpie to Rex backdoor.
Yeah, it was
whatever it was, a Rex to Sharpie backdoor. It was like 3-on-1 after 3-on-1 and he was making some epic saves, but
he was
kept us in it.
He did. He kept you guys in it, man. It was a lot of fun. It was a good time. Got to see Bernie. Just always funny. Like he just says shit.
He never missed a beat, that guy.
No,
he's always joking, always screwing around.
Yeah, and Joe Watson, it was funny in the third period. He started getting a little more serious. Hey, you gotta know who you're changing for, boys. It's like there's only one guy. It's like a couple lines.
Yeah, right.
But he was into it. It was funny. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was
definitely a good time.
And I made it out unscathed, Nast.
Didn't have to worry about
no bruises, no torn MCLs, no diagnoses.
Listen, I'm gonna have to I can't call you Dr. Cote anymore because your year residency's up or whatever you call it. you're not a doctor anymore. Thank God you didn't have to diagnose anything.
No.
I did have to I got Howie wanted a little ice for the back. His back had been bothering him a little bit, but you couldn't tell by the way he was skating.
Yeah, he's efficient. He moves pretty graciously out there.
Such a good dude too, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hall of Famer. Hey,
yeah, it was fun.
Congratulations to our good friend Michael Leighton. Yes, he was inducted to the American Hockey League Hall of Fame. Well, obviously, well deserved. I mean, great career, even in the NHL. Like when he was playing with us, like was one of the main reasons we got to the finals. Obviously, him and Bush both that year. But Leighton's played quite a few games in both leagues, more in American League, but definitely deserved. Happy for him, man. He deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he ripped it up down there. I mean, he was a high-end American League goaltender.
Yeah,
great pictures with his family. He looks
it
great.
was a beautiful, beautiful family.
So, congrats, Leights.
Congrats, Leights. Well, since we last met with our good buddy Ryan Pender, Flyboys played 2 games. We're on the break now, obviously, for a couple weeks here, but went 1-1. The Caps game lost to the Capitals 4-3, but it was the Magic Man, Matvey, came to play against his probably his childhood hero. I don't know if that is, but I would imagine
probably
most Russian players. I mean, he is young, but he definitely knows who Ovechkin is. He's 16 away, man. Unbelievable. I know we talked about that at the beginning of the year, but he ended up with a goal. It was actually a pretty entertaining game. The Flyers were still without Peltier and Kuzmenko at that time. But they battled, lost the game, and I had a great time personally. Our good buddy Phil Demo was in town.
Phil.
I was with 3 rock stars. I had Phil, then I had Kaz. Our boy Kaz was there, and then Seth from Baker Street Tattoo has done a lot of my work. We did a special with him a few years ago, way back. Actually, it was right after the first episode. I think we went over to Baker Street, and I got that tat. But Seth was with us. We had a great time. So got to talk to Howie and Miss Rose. They came and hung out with us in between periods here. It's a lot of people, so it was a lot of fun. But the game was pretty good. You briefly mentioned Matvey, the Magic Man, 2 goals. He showed out.
He did right from the start, and he probably could have had 5 goals. I think he had 2 grade A's in his first shift, first shifts there. But he came to play. If he could find that level of play every night, I know it doesn't always work that way. There's obviously sometimes the puck's just falling on your stick,
right?
Generally because of the way you're probably pressuring the puck and in the position and all that good stuff. But he probably mentally prepared a little differently, knowing he was going up against Ovechkin. He probably wanted to be the best Russian on the ice, or try to be. I thought he did a great job. I mean, certainly entertaining game, kind of back and forth. They generated more offense than they certainly did it against the Penguins. But I like the effort. Obviously, they come up short, but as far as the way they played, I would say it was far superior than the next game against the Pens. But
you're right, and I hate to say this, but just being down a few of the guys that are injured right now, and then not getting the 2 players back yet for Beezer and Frosty. I really like their effort. They played hard as hell. I mean, it was a game, the whole game.
Yep.
I was downstairs before the game, and Jacob Chikrin walked by. I said hi to him. This guy's a monster, man. I think we talked about that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he's a Greek god. Greek god.
Big, man. But he had a goal and assist.
Nice goal too.
Yeah, he did. But God, he's a machine.
He is.
Oof. He's a big dude. But you're right, man. The game was good. A lot better than the next one on Saturday. But I agree with you. Moving on to Saturday's game, Riles. Not the most exciting game. Probably didn't even deserve to win that game, but Urs stood on his head. He was amazing, and they found a way to win that game. He wasn't pretty, that's for sure. I know. Wasn't pretty, that's for sure.
Yeah, they struggled to generate offense. I think Baller was saying before, like just attempted shots or attempted opportunities is like 35-5 or 35-4 in the first. They couldn't generate anything. As you mentioned, Urs made some huge saves, kept them in the game, and Flyers just found a way to capitalize on a couple of their opportunities there. But it was, it shows you like the games that like the Washington game. I'm not going to say that they deserved to win that game, but they were right there. They could have won that game, right? But it was like a more as a fan, it's a more entertaining game. It's a more back and forth. The energy was higher. And then on paper, the Flyers win the next game, but it's just not. It wasn't a pretty game. It was kind of vanilla, and it was, in fact, the Penguins were the better team for sure.
Without a majority of their, without Crosby, without Malkin, we did get our first look at Kuzmenko coming in. He made a nice play off the wall to assist that goal right away for Scotty Lawton. Comes down, does the old paralyzer. Hadn't seen that in a while, so that was cool to see. It was a great start. I mean, he made you could see he was moving his feet, he was skating, but like our buddy Pender said, he's watch for him to be really good these last 20 some games, because that's been his MO like from every team he's gone to. His first year in Vancouver, then when he went to Calgary, obviously we talked about that last week, where he scored 14 goals in 29 games. He made a really nice play. Thought he made some nice passes that some guys can't make. Probably you do see the skill, but we'll see what happens with him. It'd be nice to see Peltier play here after the break. Hopefully they get all that paperwork situated. But it was not one of the best games to watch, that's for sure.
No. Yeah, hopefully they can, take the 2 points and build off it, right? But obviously they need a better effort next game. I think everyone in the building, everyone in the locker room knows that they need to find ways to generate more offense, bring a little more energy. But
you were playing a pretty depleted Penguins lineup when you take the big dogs out, but they won the game. And I guess at the end of the day, it's nice to go into this break, this Four Nations break, with a W. Tough game when you get back, though, against the Oilers. So we'll see how it goes from there. Quickly, we're talking about Washington. I'm not sure. I think I said this to you last week. I mentioned it, but Logan Thompson, their number one guy. I'm gonna have to say he's their number one goalie. Did you realize his record's 24-2-5?
No, that's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that is insane. He's got he's given up 2.2 goals a game, and I think his save percentage is 921 or something. But that record, like Baller, maybe you're gonna have to do some research what the best record in the league has ever been. I don't even know. I'm ashamed to say I should know that, but I don't. But what a start. And just to touch on Washington as well, their coach, we talked about him before. Like, he's just doing an unbelievable job. I actually got to talk to him after the game for a couple minutes, and really nice guy as well.
Yeah. So, and it's looking like they're kind of off-season acquisitions.
Yeah.
Are proving to be good ones, right?
Yeah,
we talked about
we questioned Dubois, yeah.
But he seems to be doing what he's supposed to there. Not quite a point a game, but he's producing. Haven't heard any negative, media fluff. So that's good. He's staying out of that, which is necessary if he's going to perform on his highest level. But yeah. The cap seems set up well. I mean, obviously, right? They got some nice pieces there. They're built top down as a coach, goaltending, obviously leading with Ovechkin and down the lineup there. They're well set up. So the fact that Flyers hung in there the way they did the other night.
Yeah, they played hard. Also, Riggs, I just wanted to mention our good friend Scott Lawton gonna have to join us for an exclusive beer launch, introducing Slapshot 21, a special collaboration between professional hockey player Scott Lawton and Kings Road Brewing Company in Hadfield, New Jersey. It's on Wednesday, February 19th, brother, 6:30 to 9:30. Kings Road Brewing Company, 131 Kings Highway East, Haddonfield, New Jersey, 08033. That is the address. The event will actually include some silent auction access, door prizes, 50-50 raffle participation, a chance to mingle with the Warriors, our good buddies and special guests. Net proceeds benefit the Warriors Hockey Club, supporting disabled veterans through the power of hockey. There is one special note. Out of respect for our special guests, we kindly ask that no autograph requests be made during the event. One other thing, Riles, our boy DJ Hollywood is going to be there. Yeah, he'll be spinning some tunes. You know that for sure. So check it out next Wednesday, February 19th at Kings Road Brewing Company.
Will you be there, Nast?
Well, I think I'm going to have to. We got to go see Slapshot 21, my boy.
You got to bring it. Yeah,
I think I might hide somewhere and scare the shit out of them like I normally do. So we'll see. Should be a good time.
Content.
Yeah, man.
All right, Nast. You ready to rock 190?
I'm ready to rock.
Our good friend Aaron Asham 2.0.
Ash.
Here we go.
Welcome back. I'm Riley Cote.
And I'm Derek Settlemeyer. This week, Riggs, we got a teammate back.
Got him back.
We got him back. Former third-round pick, Montreal Canadiens. Back in 96 in the NHL entry draft. Third rounder, 71st overall. Veteran of 789 games. Pretty sure he played on just about every team in the East. We talked about before. Ended up with 94 goals, 114 assisted for 208 total points in the National Hockey League, 1,004 PIMs.
Hard-earned PIMs, too.
Yeah, hard-earned PIMs. And I will say, from that video that your buddy made that time, wouldn't it be great if you had hands like Ash? Remember that thing? Anyway, let's welcome in our good friend, Aaron Asham. What's up, Ash?
Oh, not much, boys. How you guys doing?
Doing all right, man. What are you up to these days?
Oh, the youth hockey movement in Long Island. I'm doing coaching a few teams. We're actually leaving Monday with the Quebec team, the international Kiwi tournament, Quebec City. We're gonna be down there for 12 days.
Wow!
And then I coach a U14 team, and then I got my son's hockey. It's nonstop.
It's a lot of hockey.
Full-time job, yeah, no kidding.
It is. It is. It's fun though.
Yeah, I got to see your Islanders team that's going to Quebec a few weeks ago when you were in town there. Thank you again for dinner, by the way. Ash took me to Denzi.
I heard.
It was actually excellent. Really, really good over in Hadfield. I'll let you say the name of it. But I was going to say it's a pretty big thing. Obviously, your son as well, Cruz, is playing. It's a big thing that Riley and I have talked about before. We actually have some episodes coming up about youth hockey, and it's pretty nuts, man. Like I'm imagining with you, like you're the coach, but you kind of have to keep your distance from parents, because I can imagine when it gets to the level like you're AAA, but when you're going to a tournament like that in Quebec, there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, like our main thing is just trying to find the right line combinations and, trying to get to know the kids, first of all. That's, I think that's the most important thing. And then when we're in Quebec City, that's when we'll start, hanging out with the parents and, getting to know them, usually over a few cocktails, which, always helps. But yeah, our main goal is, is try to get to know the kids and, how they respond and how they react. If a kick in the butt is what they need, or if, I got to pat them on the back and tell them how good they are. You're just trying to get those, player-coach relationships going first off.
Ash, obviously you grew up playing youth hockey, like we all have. Have you seen or noticed a significant change in just the overall attitude of parents and maybe the players themselves? Has it evolved, gotten worse, gotten better?
Personally, since I've, been around it so much and a lot for the last, 7-8 years, compared to when we played, it's, the kids are just way more entitled. They just, think they deserve this, they deserve that, and they're not actually really putting the work in. And, when I was their age, if I didn't friggin' play or practice as hard as I could, my coach, Todd, was, Angus was down my throat, on my butt, work harder. Just some of these kids just don't have that drive, and it just seems like, I paid my fees.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Where's my ice time? And, for me, that's not how I coach. And, you want your ice time, you got to work hard in practice, work hard in games. If not, then sorry.
Yeah. Right.
That's a great question Riley asked, because I'm sure, as you see, because I know you pay attention to the NHL, obviously, you almost start seeing this in the kids coming up now, the entitlement, like, part of the game. And it is starting at a young level. Obviously, Elvis, as you know, my son, he's a 2014, and our good friend Tom Bunning, who is the hockey director at Holydale Ice Arena, he's in charge of all of that. And it's a headache a lot of days doing jobs like that. I think people don't appreciate how much, like, a coach like yourself, or especially a guy like Tom, you're dealing with parents that think their kids are getting drafted this year and they're 11.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, but I watch you coaching, and I kind of laugh too, like, thinking about, like, what kind of coach is Ash going to be, like, because you played a long time, and there's probably coaches you loved, coaches you hated. So, I know they're kids, but do you take anyone else's philosophies and kind of mix them in with your own, or how are you doing that?
I try to be, tough, as tough as you can be. I'm more of I guess I'm a screamer a little bit. It's tough transitioning from, playing, the highest level of hockey and coming down. As a coach, I obviously got to learn a little bit more about, patience, and realizing these kids are 14 years old, 13 years old. But I expect them to work hard in practice. We try to make it as fun as we can. I think our practices are like, they're basically NHL style. Like, all the drills that we do is from what I learned when I was playing. And
right.
But I'm hard on them, but I'm also, I also praise them a lot. Try to make it as fun as possible. I joke around with the kids. It's like when I was on the ice, Riles. Like, I'm always trying to shoot pucks at their, skates or something.
Keep it light. Yeah.
Have fun, and it seems like the kids, respond well to it, and they, as far as I know, they enjoy coming to practice. And, it's a give and take. I'll be as hard as I can, but if you guys work hard and play the game the right way, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
So, so if the boys, if the kids play hard, you're no curfew the first night, and
we'll definitely.
That's a place well.
We'll definitely push the curfew back a little bit. So,
yeah,
but
for the 14-year-olds,
well, for these kids, they experience the billets for the first time, so we get to Quebec, and then we have a little outdoor skate with them, and get their legs moving before we actually get into our first tournament game. And we got exhibition games, and we have so much stuff set up for these kids. It's just a wonderful experience. But yeah, in Quebec, we have our dinner as soon as we get there. The billets, they meet the billets, and then
see you later.
See you, kids, and the parents just let loose. That's crazy.
That's gotta be awesome. Yeah.
It's good for them, it's great for the kids. It's
sure.
Experiencing that, and it's nerve-wracking, I'm sure, at first, but by the end of the week, it's like there's tears. They're leaving their billets, and so it's definitely a special time for them.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, that is great. Great experience. Yeah, you said it for the parents, the players, and everyone involved. Just building off what you said about your coaching. I can see how the players would appreciate your style, right? Because I think deep down, all the players want to be coached, right? And they actually, I think, quietly do like to be pushed, right? But then you're bringing that balance. You're not like just like dictator, where it's just all grunt work and screaming, but you're balancing it out by just your lightness, right? I mean, I think you have a good a way of keeping it light, just sneaking in jokes when the time is right.
Definitely. Yeah. It's, I think that's a big part of it. Once a kid starts hating coming to practice, or
it's over.
Hating being at the rink because the coach is too mean. And, that's when it's not fun anymore. And, we try to avoid that. I'm definitely harder on some kids than I am on others, just because of, that work aspect of it, and kind of their don't give a shit attitude. But I try to change it. I try to get the most I can out of them, and try to make it as light as possible. When I'm around the rink, so these kids want to come back and want to have fun, and so it's fun. I enjoy it. I enjoy the youth level.
Mm-hmm.
I would never ever coach beyond that. It's just I'm enjoying having.
Never say never, bro. You never know.
I know, never say never, but I just can't see myself.
So if Patty shows up and offers you the big ticket contract,
if Patrick Waugh gets you on there, or Lou Lamoriello, is Lou in your ear a lot about these kids now? Is he?
Bonjour, Patty. I'll suddenly start speaking French.
I was going to tell Riles. I forgot to mention this too. When he was in town, they had a crew following him, videoing.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah. Is that still ongoing, or is it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're coming up. They're doing a road to the Quebec City. It's kind of like road to the Winter Classic.
Right.
So we've had a film crew follow us ever since we started tryouts, and Joey's going to be with us up in Quebec for the whole time. So
that's cool.
Episode 1 dropped, I think, last week, and then episode 2.
What is it on? We'll check that out. Sure.
It's MSG, I believe.
Oh, is it? Oh, shit. Okay.
Oh no, actually, I knew Islanders TV or something like that.
Okay.
I actually got to figure that out. And probably should be pumping it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's funded by the Islanders, this little video series?
Yeah. It's by the Islanders are, the main Islanders are part of it all for the Quebec experience and all that. It's their program, and
nice.
So it's part of my job title, which is it's just to go to Quebec every year with new kids and watch them experience it for the first time. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Every time like we're playing a team, like with Ash's team, they came in, they have Islander uniform. I just think it's cool, man.
I think it's cool.
Like, and as a kid, I would have to think that's cool too. You know, like I never played hockey growing up, but I love seeing, like, I just saw the little caps. I don't know what they call them, but Washington Capitals have a team that they were just playing PHC like maybe last weekend. I just think it's cool when you see that. We played Buffalo Sabres team, and they have that. I just think it's cool. It must be really cool for the kids too.
Yeah, it is. And being on Long Island, there's a lot of Rangers fans too, and I love seeing the friggin' Ranger fan putting on an Islanders jersey. So it's it's great. But like these kids, the swag they get, they get jackets, they get both home and away jerseys, all the equipment.
Yeah,
it's great for them, and it's what the Islanders are doing, and it's other NHL teams are doing it too. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah. Speaking of the Islanders, pretty hot right now. I know you pay attention to the league. I think their last 10, they're 8-2 in their last 10. But I'll tell you what, Sorokin, man, 8-1 in his last 9, 1.67 goals against. Save percentage, I think, is a .942 in his last 9 games. This he looks unbeatable some nights, Ash.
That's what they need, especially with all the injuries they're going through right now. He's their backbone, and he's been playing phenomenal. And they were like long gone out of it like a month ago, and now they're right back in the mix. And it's exciting. It's it makes everyone around the rink going to the games. It's just everyone's more involved, and it's just right now it's playoff hockey all the way home. So it's going to be with Igor Hot, if they get on a roll and everyone gets healthy, they got a good shot at making the playoffs and maybe doing some damage in it.
Yeah, and you just added Tony DeAngelo, our buddy, and one of the cool things about that is, well, one, he came back from the KHL, but we all know Tony can run a power play. Like, I mean, he's a top end power play guy, right shot. But one of the cool things is I'm friends with his godfather, and they come into the shop, and he's on the phone with Tony every day and multiple times. But he said that when he got there, Patrick Waugh, sat him down and goes, "Play your game. Don't worry about anything. Go. If you got to go." And I think that's something. I know Tony's got to worry about the defensive end of things too, because he is a defenseman. But I think when you're telling a kid, "Hey, play your game," I think it's going to help. And he's looked pretty good. I don't know what you've thought of him so far, but I thought he's jumped in there, played pretty good minutes. Power play time, obviously.
I think so too. You always hear that the outside noise and all that stuff, but I think having a guy like Patty and a guy like Lou, giving him a talking to and just letting him play the game, don't worry about the outside noise is huge, and he has been huge for the power play. When you got a guy like Dobson's out and Mayfield just went down, this Pellick.
Yeah.
You need someone, and to have him available, because he is a heck of a hockey player.
Right.
His defensive game needs work, but whose defensive game doesn't need work, right? So, I definitely there's pros and cons, and right now he's been playing unbelievable for us, and hopefully he continues because having him in the lineup is key.
Yeah, it's a boost for sure.
Yeah, it is, and as you mentioned, having Igor back there, just kind of just that last line of defense, obviously. Goes a long way. We were just speaking with Ryan Pinder out of Calgary, hosts a podcast with the Flames, and he was talking about Dustin Wolf. Similar situation in Calgary, right? I mean, there's on paper probably shouldn't be in a playoff spot, but the goaltending is so strong that they've just been able to win games and kind of cultivate that culture of work and finding ways. I think that's what the Islanders have done. You could say the Flyers haven't done that, right? They've all been kind of squeezed, all in that same, exact spot almost, and just waiting for someone to elevate their game enough to find their groove. But the goaltending seems to be always that constant that will kind of put you over. I say put you over the hump. It'll kind of get you where you need to go, at least at the very least, right? Maybe get you in.
Well, definitely, and I think by Patty just going and telling Tony, just to go, that's how much confidence he has in Igor back there, and
right,
to have your coach, behind you like that, and as a goalie, because it all goes with confidence, and it's and having arguably one of the best goalies to ever do it. It's probably great for Igor's confidence, and and it's only better things for the Islanders if if Igor's playing and Tony's playing, and we get guys back, get guys healthy. It's going to be a fun last half of the season.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's always nice when I love the race when it is all these teams because it makes, even though I know there's a little bit of road left in the season here, but it sure does make the games better when you got a 4-point game against some of these teams, and the Flyers have been actually, well, except for the last two, they play the Islanders, Devils 4 or 5 like a lot lately, so. I think the Flyers now, after this big trade week and a half ago, are probably they're not going to make the playoffs. You never know, but I don't think it's going to happen at this point. But for the Islanders, it's actually, you're right. It's fun to watch them. I've been watching their games now because they're playing so well, and Tony is, obviously I like watching Tony play also. But on the other side of that, the other New York team that you brought up, the Rangers. Now Riles seems to think Lavi had a call from you talking about maybe we go back to the dry island and get the boys going there.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what.
How dry is it there?
I think nowadays, I don't even think the kids even drink.
Yeah, nothing like they used to. But
God, it was like for us, it was geez. When they lose, hit the booze, So but yeah, I'm not. Yeah, they're starting to play a little better over there, and. I think them bringing up Rempe was huge. Even though he's a little bit of a wild card out there, which I love, by the way. But
I do too. I do too.
I just you just gotta tell them if you see numbers, stop.
You have to put it on the back of the kid, like the kid's
like
jersey.
that Forrest Gump when he was running. Stop. But yeah, it's I love when he's in the lineup because I just go to the highlights and hopefully he fights or he makes a big hit, and he's a guy that can play the game. Like he's proven he wants to learn. He did some work with Georgie, and I think he's working on a skill game in the summer. He wants to get better, and that's what you want to see. And he was a little bit of I don't know what was going on there towards the end. I don't know if he was just fighting too much, but it seemed like he was having trouble with the smaller guys, and Olivier gave it to him pretty good. He kind of got him in the Ed side. So I think it was huge for him to go and, work with Georgie. And, he hasn't dropped him too many times this year, but, it's nice to see him definitely in the lineup.
Yeah, it's talking about toughness. Obviously, you and Riles know all about that. But I don't want to say it's all the way back, but it has made its way back. There's some teams that carry tough, like last week with Delorier getting back in the lineup. He had a great fight with O'Brien.
Love that guy too.
Yeah, I mean, this guy throws bombs, Ash. I know
Love
you know
it.
that
Yeah.
watching him, but he got in there, his line, he got in front of the net, Flyers score a goal, but he brings more than people want to admit to the game, and guys like him and you brought up Olivier. This guy's tough as hell, and he's having a really good year too. He's scoring goals. I mean, you need you need it, and I know we're all old school here. Probably I'm even older school, but I was going to ask you, like, who do you think right now? Who's your toughest guy in the league, or top two, whatever?
Top two right now is, I believe it's Olivier. And your guy there is pretty tough too, Nicholas.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, Delorier. Yeah, he is tough.
I can't say Reeves because he doesn't really fight that much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally don't really know him as a guy. I think he's a Manitoba boy, but I think back, in the earlies, he's a middleweight, right? So it's just a different level. But I think that Olivier is right up there. Nico's there. Rempe's up there. Guys that fight the tough guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they're fighting.
Olivier wants to fighting everyone. He doesn't care. So it's.
Yeah, he does fight.
I think those three are the top three, and there's a lot of meat right now, which is nice to see.
Yeah, it is. And the Flyers have a guy that we talk about once in a while who I'm not sure if you have been able to pay too much attention to, but Nick Seeler is a sneaky tough guy,
tough too,
man.
Yeah.
He's a tough guy. He fights out of his weight class sometimes, but
I like his game too. He does
Yeah.
throw him. He does throw him really well. Yeah, I like his game a lot.
Yeah.
It's just like how much more comfortable do these guys feel when these guys are in the lineup?
Yeah,
like they have to. And,
yeah.
I know that the fans might not see it, but I'm sure Michkov loves it when Nico's in the freaking. I'm sure he's feeling like he's Superman, bud. And that's what you need, and that's what you need. You need your guys to feel comfortable, your stars to, to go out there and not feel like, worry about anything. Just go out there and play their game.
Yeah.
It's awesome that it's coming back.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for sure. Did you get a chance to see the Ryan Hartman incident there?
Yeah, the old forearm shiver.
I'm watching this, and Riles calls me and goes, "This looks like a little bit like Ash with a cross check to Braden Shen's neck when he was a Penguin."
He played that up. I didn't even touch him. Yeah, that was
like Dave Brown.
Yeah, right.
Brownie.
Yeah. I'm kidding.
That he can say he didn't mean to do it, but you watch it. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
and it's not like it's his first time.
Exactly.
It's 10 games. I think it's a little
10 games.
A little crazy, but hey, it is what it is.
We were talking about that earlier, and I know he goes overboard a little bit. This one, to me, like you don't really want to hurt a guy like that. That was pretty dangerous play, I will say, and he probably would admit it, off camera. But I do like his game. He's an asshole, man. And he's been fortunate. He's had some really good years and many since he left here, and obviously he's playing with Kirill the Thrill, and that's gonna help anyone. But you still have to finish, and you still have to make plays. But I do like his scrappiness as a guy. He's not very big, Ash. He's not a very big guy.
I have no problem with this game. He plays it hard. He scraps. He creates space for his teammates.
Yeah,
but it's unfortunate. Obviously he didn't want to hurt him that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Did he lose some jibs or what did he do? Did he just
he just got
forehead.
cut. Yeah, I think he's all right. But
Oh,
it looked the optics of it.
Yeah, I mean, it looked worse. It looked worse.
Yeah, probably a little pressure cut, right?
Yeah.
Riles gave me some of those, so it's
heal up nicely.
Yeah, like Reamer too. Like Reamer just got a puck or a stick in the face, and all his work, and he was out. As soon as he got stitched up. So these guys are tough. They can take it. So
yeah, we talked about that a little bit. You imagine you go through all that shit, you get back in the game just to find out they got to open up where they just stitched you to pull a tooth out. How'd you miss the tooth, boys?
Yeah. We forgot about that. Jesus, it's like leaving a glove in you or something.
Yeah, right. Oops. But I think the 10 games was certainly built on reputation. I think Baller was saying is since maybe last year, the year before, he's been fined numerous times, suspended. I think 3 times.
So 10
games,
been like 11 incidents in in the last 8 or 9 years. So
yeah, that's a lot.
It's not his first time. Yeah, I got lucky because when I hit Schenner, that was my first suspension, and that was
really
13 years in. Yeah, so I got lucky there.
How did you get away with 13 years before you got a suspension?
I was very sneaky.
You weren't a dirty player.
No, I tried to play it. Yeah. I tried to play it
as
clean as I could, but definitely get my spears here and there. So
got to mix them in there. The old duck bill. Pete Vandermeer used to turn when he'd get in a scrum, he'd turn his stick over. And he called it the duck bill, Ash.
That's where I got that from, was Vandy and friggin' Red Deer when we played. What a beauty that guy was.
Oh my God.
Such a beauty.
I'll tell you a story here. I gotta tell you a story about Vandy. He when we were in Red Deer, he liked to break curfew, so he had to live with the coach. So he lived with the coach.
Oh my God.
And and
the Sutter, who was it?
No, it was Pete Anholt.
Okay, right, yeah.
Petey, and I guess Petey came home one night and Vandy had someone over there in the coach's house. That's just how Vandy was. He's just a beauty. His wife is awesome too. I actually they did a bobblehead night for me last year, and I got to meet her for the first time, and they're just a match made for they're like made to be with each other. So it's awesome to see, and just a great family overall.
Yeah, I got to meet her last summer. She's awesome. Pistol. Well, Chiefs. We have a brawl the one night. It might have been that the Binghamton. It was Chiefs last year, and Chief comes walking in, and I had a little cooler beer set aside for him after every game. He was half coaching, and then he would play some games. And we had a huge brawl against Binghamton. It was where Litz went flying in. Razor wanted to kill him. But Chief comes in, you know how he talks. Comes in and goes, grabs a beer, says, "I'll tell you what." And then he cracks a beer, has a sip. I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Them Vandermeer boys are fucked up."
Well, when I was with them, we went for dinner and had some beers. They're still doing the sawmill, like they still have and I'm not sure if it was Dan or Bill or one of them, but cut his hand off.
Off?
What?
Half of his hand.
No way.
Vandy shows me the picture, and his hand was just lying down in the saw and sawdust and all that stuff, and he was like, "At this crazy fucker."
Like it's nothing.
Just like standard day at the office.
I just went and fucking sewed it back on, but it was fucking unbelievable.
Oh my gosh.
That's just how tough that family is. Like
the truth.
They're all tough.
They're all tough, and their parents are just salty to their people. And I was lucky enough to play with Jimmy for Red Deer for a season, and I got to know them really well. And obviously I played with Pistol Pete, and just great people. Just awesome people.
Fucking beauty, man.
Pistol. We had Jimmy here for a year. Well, back here for a
year.
He was
he was here twice actually.
He is awesome. Yeah. You need a little help there in the fisticuffs.
Oh
a little toughness on the back end there.
Yeah, that whole family was tough. Like
crazy
tough.
And they loved it. Oh, they loved it.
I think Pistol got suspended last year. I think he
in that men's league.
In that men's league, like,
in the no-show,
cross-checked someone's jibs out, I think, and he was like, "Oh, you know, he's shooting his mouth off or something." I was like, "Fuck, man, still got it."
Oh God,
that's
he's
classic.
a beauty.
All right, Nas, last chance at the Ed Snider Youth Hockey and Education Raffle. Bobby Brink, Ed Snider Legacy jersey, 2 suite tickets to the Snider Suite, Suite D, plus 1 VIP parking pass to a game in 2024-25 season. Last chance to enter. Visit sniderhockey.org/contact and fill out the orange form. Make sure to include quote unquote nasty knuckles in the message box. Good luck to anybody entering.
I was going to ask you, Ash, last week, Tage Thompson, Buffalo, their superstar, obviously gets hit. I mean, right in the melon, and all the blue jerseys kind of dispersed, and there's been a lot of talk about that. But what's that like? I could ask Riley the same thing. Riley, you can put your 2 cents in too. But like, what's that like in a locker room when something like that happens? Have you ever seen that happen where a guy gets clobbered like that and no one jumps in at all? It's one thing when it's a clean hit. I know people bitch about it, but that really,
they would still go in there and like kind of
at least
like pretend to care. You know,
give a face wash or two.
Yeah, exactly.
That was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
It really was.
Like, come on, boys, someone do something.
They all like pretended they didn't see it. Like it was like the most odd thing. Like
yeah.
And they say, I think a couple of them claim they didn't see it, but like to me, the way I watched it, I'm like, how could you not? The guy, the biggest guy on their team gets blown up by one of the biggest hits of the year, a helmet blown off, and you don't see it. I just like
they didn't want to see it.
They didn't want to see it exactly.
Yeah, and I
no wonder they're shit in the bed the last few years.
Right.
Like, and they got a good team.
Yeah, right. Riley's on the horn with Lindy all the time, and we just that's what
see what Lindy's thinking about that.
Come on, buddy.
Supposedly he addressed it. Supposedly it was addressed.
But that's got to be like the pretty much the most miserable conversation you have to have with your team.
As a coach, you don't want to
have that conversation.
Yeah, right.
If it has to be addressed, there's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big time. Gotcha.
It doesn't matter who you are. One of your star players gets hit. You get in there. Jeez, it's just frustrating, but
yeah, I know.
Sucks for them.
Yeah, I know. It's a tough situation.
Yeah,
I don't know how you solve that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
It's another 10 years in the making before you even come close to.
Yeah.
Maybe 20. Maybe another 20.
Might be.
Sucks to be them.
Yeah, I know. It's tough.
Yeah.
Have you been playing any pickup? I think I saw a video or a picture of you playing with Sean there at 43 Oak. You've been playing those games?
I go out and whenever they're around and help out with Sean and them, and it's a good thing. But my back. I've been having some back issues and stuff, and just getting old sucks, man. Like
lower lumbar.
It's barking.
Spinal.
Every morning it's barking.
You broke your back?
You broke your back.
Spinal.
I broke my back. But I try to get out there. I'm on the ice like 5 days a week. So and these guys are like, hey, let's go play on a Tuesday at 11 o'clock at night. Are you crazy?
Yeah, right. That's an easy no.
Nicely toasted sitting on my couch by then or sleeping, so it's like, no, thank you. But, I'm on the ice enough. So it's fine.
Got to get you on the yoga mat, loosen up the lower lumbar.
Yeah, I got to do something like that. I've been trying these stretches, but,
Look at the look. It just makes me laugh. Trying stretches.
haven't been working.
He's stretching like Jake Voracek used to. He couldn't touch his toes.
Touch his kneecaps.
I couldn't. I couldn't do a sit up. Like even like in NHL camps and stuff. It was like I couldn't do one sit up. It's like I got bad back and bad abdominal wall. You remember that year when I was? It was my first year with the Islanders, or not with the Islanders, with the Flyers, and we had to go do that 2-mile run.
Oh God, I remember you were doing it barefoot, weren't you?
By the end of it, it was they wanted us to do it 8 laps in under 11 minutes.
I remember.
I looked at I was like, I haven't ran all summer. Like, I'm a biker. Like, are you crazy? Running. So we take off. Colby, like a Marmaduke, does it in friggin' 10 minutes and 37 seconds. And he lapped me twice.
He can run, man.
I was like 19 minutes.
Yeah, nice pace though. Nice pace.
Homer was sitting on the fence, just staring at me. You know, just. I was like, one more.
Oh man,
got her done though.
You got her done. I remember you finished it with no wheels on.
Finished.
Like, wow, this guy's impressive. This is tribal shit here.
She was melted off from the heat. My core temperature melted him.
Oh man. That was your first year in Philly. I remember that. Yeah. Oh man, that was a tough one.
Probably thinking like, what the fuck did we bring in? You allowed swearing on here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
You're good.
That's so
fun.
Yeah, it was. Thank God I could play a little bit. So.
Oh man, that was
good old days.
Oh yeah.
That was the best time.
Have you watched much of Toronto since Chiefs there coaching?
I try to watch some highlights. You know, I'm happy they're doing well. Like Chief's the best. You know, he was. Yeah. You know, I loved watching him play, the crazy bugger. I like playing against him a little bit. You know, his coaching, he's just. You know, I love him as a coach because, you know, he's battled, he's played it, you know, he knows, you know, what these guys need and what they don't need. And, you know, I'm sure the guys in Toronto are loving him. Like, how can you not?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. We talk about it a lot. And I've seen him a few times. Saw him a couple weeks ago. And it's just so funny. You know how he talks. He's
oh yeah,
he's got this going. He's got this going. See, he comes out there, and he had said it to me earlier in the year, and he's half kidding, half serious. But he goes, "I said to this Nylander, are you gonna try? Like, what do you do? You know?" And I know he's telling the truth because he used to say it to Yogs. You know, like, you're their best penalty killer, Yogs. You know, he'd say shit like that to him, and we would laugh. But he's standing there. We're kind of shooting the shit about the game, and he goes. He goes, all right, boys, I'll be right back. I got to go slap the media around here for a minute. He's just great. They seem to love him too in Toronto, the media. Sure. They seem to love him.
Oh, for sure. Like he's got a good personality. You know, he knows what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm sure the guys, you know, I'm sure Keith did a good job, but, you know, I'm sure the guys were happy to have him come in.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how the playoffs go for them because that's been the thing with Toronto the last how many years. You know, like everybody's talking about Mitch Marner. He's putting up all these points again. He's an unrestricted free agent, so it was a lot going on in Toronto because if you have to wait, if you probably can't trade him, right? Like, or if you do, your hopes this year may not be what you think they are. Like, right. I think I heard maybe it was Jay Rosehill was saying, you know, they at least need to get to the Eastern Conference Final for it to be a success. I'm just interested to see when it comes time for playoffs, exactly what difference Chief can make behind the bench, which I think is huge. But
agreed.
We'll see when that time comes. But
you guys know how playoffs is a different beast.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully, you know, well, not hopefully. I hope the Islanders do well, but hopefully they make them. But, you know, for Chief, you know, hopefully they do well. But
yeah,
I think it's, you know, I know he's going to be prepared. It's just a matter of are his players willing to, you know, go through the wall for him like we did in 2010 and for him and Lavi. And I don't know. It's going to be, you know, we're going to have to wait and see who shows up and who doesn't.
For sure.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you quickly, back on the Islanders real quick. Do you see Lou making any more moves here? I know you got some injuries. You'll have guys coming back, so that always helps. But I'm not sure about the Islanders' cap space if they have any room, but do you see them making any moves before the March 7th deadline?
I I think if we're in the mix, and if it's going to help our team, and it's going to help our team moving forward, I think he would do something. But Lou's smart, and he keeps all that stuff to himself, pretty tight-lipped. But
yeah,
I think if we're in it, I think if there's someone available that's going to help us now, and it's going to help us in the future, I think he definitely would pull a trigger.
Okay.
It all depends. I guess like every GM, it's on the players to if you want some help, go out there and get us to where we need to be, and we'll make that decision then.
Yeah, makes sense.
Any unbiased playoff predictions? Or Stanley Cup predictions?
I think the Oilers, I think they're due. They got two of the best players in the world, and it's just the same thing as like goalie situation. I like Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him last year. It's it's tough to win it.
Yeah.
Anyone can win it, but McDavid and Draisaitl, and the Nuge.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's like we can't forget about the Nuge, because he's a big part of that as well, and it's going to be exciting. That's why I love playoffs. It's just anything can happen.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
it is. And Chris Knobloch's done an unbelievable job there since he got there. I mean, he turned that around, obviously, and credit to him and the players. Obviously, everyone worked together to do it, but bringing in Paul Coffey there too.
Oh yeah.
They really straightened up the defensive side of the puck, which helped Skinner as well. It's going to help any goalie, but he's played really well, and actually Cal Pickard's had a really good year this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a good team, and I think a lot of people have them coming out of the West.
Yeah, agreed. What about the Jets there, Ash?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
It's my mom and everyone, the Jets, and I just hope they don't just do the typical Winnipeg Jets and done in the first round, I hope they actually make them, because they needed it. Like the city's going to be the city's going to go crazy if they make a serious run for it, and I'll have to go home and go support them for a game or two maybe, but yeah, it's going to be great for the city, and with all the crazy crap that's going around, and I think they definitely need it.
They do need it, yeah.
What a building too! The fans there. I know it's not the biggest building, but every time since they moved there, and I was still with the team, going there was awesome.
Yeah.
You got a great crowd. They're into it. It's loud, and you always have the white out there, which I think even when they were back in the old barn, I just thought that was one of the coolest things, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're the ones that I think brought all that stuff, right? Is the whiteouts and all that stuff. Yeah, it's cool. I wish them well. I have a buddy that works with them, so it's hopefully they do well, and they deserve it.
Yeah, agreed.
They've been pushing, so it's definitely nice to see.
Yeah, and they're set up well for it too, right? I mean, they obviously got the goaltending, and they got a few guys that are scoring at will.
Riley's favorite player is coaching.
Yeah, my favorite player growing up, Scotty Arneal, wore number 11 because of him. He's coaching. So
Arnie,
yeah, buzzing. So I don't know. Just being from Winnipeg, it's just nice to see them finally have some sustained success. And
it is, and they're playing some good hockey. Like Shifley, like how does he feel being left off that roster?
Yeah, right.
I know
that sucks. That sucks for him. Like he's having an unbelievable year, and Connor's just playing well, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see, definitely, because they thought once they made that trade a few years ago, there it's like, oh, rebuild.
Yeah. No,
they're doing well. Yeah.
They're there. Last thing, Ash, I know you're busy there, but you just brought up the 4 Nations. Like, are you looking forward to watching that? I'm super pumped, man. I think
it's going to be good. It's definitely going to be good. It's going to be even better once Russia is in there, because I think they're a powerhouse, country as well for hockey, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be in Quebec watching, so it's going to be it's going to be nice. Hopefully Canada comes out on top.
What?
But we'll see.
Canada needs a facelift now. So
hey,
a little upgrade.
U.S. boys, U.S.
Yeah,
it's going to be good.
It should be really good.
Let's do dinner. We'll do dinner. I'll take Canada.
All right.
All right.
I'm in. I got US. I mean, how can I not?
I'm going
Oh
Canada.
yeah, by the way, the name of that restaurant is Il Fior.
Il Fior, and it's in
Fior in
Haddonfield.
Haddonfield. It's honestly, Lundy he's the owner. He's a great guy. Takes care of all his customers, and definitely try it out. It's great.
You heard it here.
It was awesome. We had a great
grab
dinner
there, Nast.
The best Riles. I think I was kind of telling you before we started. When Ash is ready to go.
Yeah.
Like we had a little bit of wine. Nothing crazy. Pretty quiet night. Busy weekend for everybody. And he says, "Get the bill." Yeah, no problem. Where's fucking Ash? He's just fucking looking around. Where the fuck's this bill?
Got us free dessert though.
Yeah, I did. Finally, Ash was like, I gotta go to bed, boys.
I was sweating. It was so hot.
It was hot in there as well. And it was just funny, because he's ready. He's ready. It was almost like where he puts, "You good with this?" Put the hot dog on top of the cab. But no, it was just
my hot dogs.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a great time. We had a great night.
That's awesome.
It's really, really good restaurant.
Check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Sweet. Well, thank you, Ash. I know you're a busy
boys.
man. Appreciate you.
Love catching up with you. You guys were my favorites. So
appreciate it.
We got to go come down and do dinner here soon.
Yeah, let's do it. And good luck in Quebec, man. I know it's a big deal. It's
awesome. It is. These kids are are in for a treat. So hopefully we go out there and we compete and do the best we can. But I don't care about the wins. It's it's about that experience for those kids, and it's gonna be a good time.
Awesome. Man. All right, brother. Love you, my man. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, brother.
Okay, brothers.
All right, big thank you to Aaron Asham for hopping on. Episode 190 in the books.
Yeah, he just makes me giggle when I just look at the guy.
Yeah, he's got
that smirk. I just want to laugh the whole time when I'm with him, talk to him. Always in a good mood and makes you laugh.
Yeah, I always love having Ash around, and it's always nice to see him. As you mentioned, he just has a way of putting a smile on your face. So
yeah, he does.
Appreciate you, Ash. Thanks for hopping on.
What a beauty.
Oh yeah, always. You know what time it is, Nast?
What time is it, Riggs?
Take a wild guess.
Is it clear question time?
It is. We're ready.
Oh my goodness. Clear questions brought to you by Clear Rum. Go to clearrum.com/shop and type in Nasty 2023 and get 35% off of your order.
Brinzy on Twitter asks, how funny is that Lawton to the Leafs prank now? Looking like a real possibility.
Yeah. Well, I you know what? It's a great question, and it is funny, but it really wasn't out of the realm of possibility at that time either,
right?
As we had heard. But it does seem like he may be going that way, or even Winnipeg's been mentioned, Riles. But we talk about Lawtz a lot. Like, he's just one of those pieces I think every team would have on their team. You would enjoy having on your team. So I think it might happen this year, though. Yeah. I don't want to see him go, but for him, with a chance to win, going to a team like either the Leafs or Winnipeg, or maybe there's another team too that might offer more to Danny. We'll see what happens. But it is kind of funny that it's seeming like it could really happen.
Yeah, no, agreed. And there's no secret why his name keeps coming up. I think the prank itself, it was just totally random that it was Toronto.
Yeah.
Now that his name's mentioned going to Toronto or Winnipeg, I think Toronto would be an amazing fit for him for a couple reasons. Obviously, he's born and raised around that area, a chief there, and just obviously the huge market that that Toronto is, and probably needing a guy like that, some depth and that worker, mindset, leadership. I think he'd fit in obviously very well there, as well as Winnipeg if ever it played out that way. But to me, I'm sure his heart's probably in T.O. more than the Peg. But who knows? You go where you go. You go where you have to go. But
they are good though. They are.
Yeah,
good.
They are good if it's about winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, great question. And it's seeming like it's going to be more of a reality now than ever. At the end of the day, the price has to be right. Danny's not going to just flip them for no good reason. So I'd like to think the return is going to be would be a nice addition for the present and for the future of the Flyers. But we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Patience, Nast.
Yep, you got to have it.
All right, we got Josh Hoffman on Twitter. He wants to know, what kind of influence and pressure does it put on a team when another sports team wins a championship for the city? It's a good question.
I mean, it may relax them a little bit. The Sixers are having a really tough year. Obviously, Flyers are in this rebuild, and you really see the rebuild now after this trade that Danny had made last week, or it's probably 2 weeks now. Maybe it kind of calms people down a little bit with the Birds winning, or if it was the Sixers or the Phillies, whatever. But definitely helps. But it's been a long time. We got to figure it out here.
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm not sure it puts really any pressure on a team one way or another. Right. I mean, it's like at the end of the day, like, Flyers, you could say, you're probably not going to make the playoffs this year. This year, it's clearly not going to happen. So they're not, in this moment thinking about next year and, the pressure that the Eagles won, the Flyers got to win. I'm not sure guys operate like that. I don't think teams operate like that.
No.
You're taking it day by day. Yes, you can have some seasonal, team goals and objectives, personal goals and objectives, but I'm not sure that it really throws on any more pressure than you allow it to.
Right.
So, but it's a good question, because obviously the Flyers haven't won since 75, and the Eagles have won a couple times now, the Phillies, and Flyers on paper should be next, in some way, shape, or form. But that could be another, who knows how long away. So I don't think it really changes the mental prep of the individual or the team. It's just everyone's individually trying to win, and the collective is trying to win. It's just not quite that easy to win championships every year, so.
Exactly.
Next question. Thank you, Josh. We got Ryan 374-339-12489 on Twitter. Realistically, numbers. How many seasons till we are cup contenders?
Oh, man.
There it is. Following up the last one.
There it is. Yeah. Oh, man. God.
Thoughts, Nast?
It's looking like a while for me, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. Like, I know we've been talking about in the last couple of weeks with the cap going down, having the opportunity to sign some guys, but I think if you can get a free agent to come here, like, it is a great play. Like, don't get me wrong, but who's going to be coaching in 2 years? Who's going to be coaching this team in 2 years? Or if you're trying to sign a player this summer as a free agent, do they want to come play for Torts? We've heard that is something that's talked about within some players, players that play currently, not just here, but other players. Probably not just, I don't know. I'm not trying to say anything bad about it, but I think you have to take that into account for some players. Some players don't want to deal with that stuff.
Older players for sure.
Yeah, older players, I should say. Well, if you're going to sign a free agent, he's probably not going to be 22.
Yeah.
So, I mean, guys that are in that area, like if someone gets traded here, you just have to deal with it, right? But I think I think a lot of it has to do with who your next coach is and how quickly you can rebuild. I mean, I think there's a little bit down on the farm, but it's not like crazy overwhelmingly great. We do have a lot of picks this year. So I mean, it's just tough to say. It's a great question, and we ask it all the time, right? Like, how much longer is this going to take? Because realistically, we started rebuilding with Hexy, but we really didn't. Kind of tried, but didn't really happen. And now, this is Torts' third year as coach, and we're not. I understand what he's doing. He's teaching the kids, the younger guys, how to play both sides of the puck. We get that, but there's some boxes that need to be checked off, like we talked about last week, and a number one centerman. Another stud D, there's a lot of things that have to happen. Even a goalie, not to put Sam down, but maybe Sam becomes this number one that you want. He's played great lately. He's proven he could kind of handle the workload, right? But there's just so many things that have to happen. So to put years on it, I don't know, three where we're maybe a contender. You hope, but how many things have to happen, Riley? You understand that?
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking 3 to 5 years realistically. Big question that I have is going into next season to the point that you were making around, torts and attractable free agents. Like going into next season, are you coming back with torts, or are you coming in with a different coach? And I think I say that because, to your point, it may attract a different first line center. It may attract a different, free agent that might not come based on the coach itself, knowing that, well, he's the coach, but they're still kind of in that real last year of the rebuild, if you want to call it that, right? Like a last year of his contract. And because I think that matters based on like how next season looks. Because to me, if Torts is back next season, this season will probably look much the same as it did this year and last year.
Right.
I just don't see a whole lot of improvement. That being said, if you bring in another coach, I'm not sure that it attracts enough pieces that you're not going to be a contender overnight either.
No.
But maybe you're one step closer to being that, because now you're attracting a little bit more, a little bit more spirit to your team, guys that want to be there based on where the team is in their rebuild. Because right now, I think if you're a free agent, you're looking at the Flyers and you're like, well, I don't say they're vanilla, but like, like they are what they are. They're working hard and they have some, some substance there, but as far as being a contender, they're not there yet. So as a free agent, you would maybe go shopping somewhere else. So let's go look at Tampa or Florida, somewhere warmer, you know what I mean? Or someone with a little better situation for you. So, I still think it's probably 3 to 5 years. There's a lot of things, as you mentioned, that have to go right. You have to stay healthy, and there's certain pieces that, that have to be consistent. Otherwise, it's going to be, a lot of these up and down roller coaster type of years. And I think next year is probably a very similar year to this year and last. But then beyond that, I think you squeeze in the playoffs, and then maybe beyond that, you maybe get into the next round. And then I think, again, after that third, fourth year, like you should be right up there if everything lines up the way, they're planning on. So a lot of question marks. There always is. It's never an easy thing to build a team. You got to have a lot of things going in your favor. But to me, this next year will be an interesting season, for the pieces that they add, whether just temporary pieces or pieces to the puzzle moving forward for the longer and more futuristic picture.
Yeah, and I think we kind of touched on it before, but just the patience that has to be shown by Danny and Danny Briere and even Keith Jones as well, because it's probably going to get uglier before it gets better, which we know. It's starting, with moving a couple pieces like we moved a couple weeks ago with two. I still call them kids. I think they're young kids in this league, even though they've been in the league for a few years. Moving away from them when originally they've always been thought of as part of the rebuilding and part of that group that's going to be together in 2 more years, but it's not an easy job, which we've said before, and you just got to trust. I trust Danny. I think he's got a plan, and it's probably hard some days, right? Like going through this, because it's not a lot of fun when you're not winning a lot of games, but at least they're competing. Like we said, this game last week against Washington, they compete their bags off, and it has a lot to do with pride as well. And the guys are a tight unit in there. They're a good group of guys that you can tell care about each other. But it's going to take a lot to get to that level where you're like, okay, hey, we're in the running here to win a Stanley Cup.
Yeah, agreed. Great question.
Great question. Sorry, that was such a long-winded answer.
Oh, Zeke on Instagram says, with the cap going up and Danny's recent comments, is there any chance the Flyers could land Kaprizov? It would be huge for them, especially with Michkov. My goal is to rumor boys this into existence. Karilli to Philly. Let's make it happen. I love where his head's at. Yeah, manifestation.
I like his enthusiasm too. He's
Yeah.
jacked. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I mean, you get a player like that, obviously that's great. I don't know how easy that's gonna be. He might want to go to Florida or something. You know what I mean? He's top notch, and he's proven that he shows up to play as well. Every
100%.
night. I know he's hurt right now, but yeah, that'd be a hell of a move.
Yeah, it would. And I think in the past you've seen this before, whether it's Russians or Swedes or Finns, or one guy signs because another guy is there, however that shakes out.
Yeah.
You've seen it before. You don't see it as often in hockey, but certainly you do. It all depends on the cap space and obviously numbers and logistics there, but it would be great, obviously, on paper, if that's the guy. It's not necessarily the centerman, but I mean, anytime you can add a skill guy to your lineup like that, it would certainly help the ethos of the team, and especially a young Russian player, as we talking about with Michkov here. But it'd be nice to see some sort of splash like that.
That would be great, but I have a hard time thinking that Billy Garrett's going to let this guy get out of there. I mean, he's been a huge part of their success there. So
maybe Ratton and Nast.
Never know.
Maybe he's coming to Philly.
Never know.
Never know. Thank you, Ozeek. Eric Fisher on Twitter asks, when do you think TK becomes the captain?
Well, I don't think he becomes the captain while Coots is here.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking too, right? As long as Coots is here, probably not.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, he is a captain type. He is a captain type. I mean, obviously TK could be a captain. He is one of the captains. But I don't know how that would shake down unless Coots is traded or something like that.
Yeah. Or one day Coots decides he doesn't want to be the captain and just walks in, says TK is the captain. Because, I mean, really, it was between Coots, TK, and Lots, probably, right? I mean, like, as far as, like, actual, legitimate potential to be captain. But, yeah, as long as Coots is, doing his thing and a big part of the team and is still holding the C, I can't see anything changing. It's not going to be one of those days where they're naming TK captain for no good reason. It is what it is for now until
whoever gets named captain next, I'd be watching out. You probably get scratched the next game, but I'm just kidding. Well, not really. But yeah, I agree with you, Riggs.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Eric. Uncle Moke on IG. Is Sam Ersson the franchise goalie?
Well, he is right now.
He is right now.
I mean, he can't argue the way he's played. Goaltending, so you just never know, right? Like, he has played really well. He's made it look like he could be the everyday guy. I mean, for the most part, obviously you're not going to play every game, but I think Sam's played well lately.
Yes.
Since he's come back, he looks very confident, big in the net. I like the way he's played. I don't think you can look at any of these games in the last bit since he's been back where you say, goaltending cost him. It's funny how it works, though, because we have like a group chat with a lot of the dads on Elvis's team, and we're laughing like it's not funny, but the score is 3-2, but they've only had 12 shots. But if you watch the goals, they're not. Like, it's not like they're bad goals, but your save percentage just kills you, right?
Yeah.
But I think Sam's played well, and he's proven right now, that he's the number one guy here.
Yeah.
But there's not, you have the conversation about goaltending. No one's going to give you their goalie.
Yeah.
I mean, how many real number ones are there in the league? Like, yes, every team has a number one goalie. They're all good goalies, but legit number one goalies. It's not easy to find, and it's not easy to steal one from someone, because who's going to give it to you?
Well, that's it. Yeah. I mean, obviously Carter Hart was that.
Yes.
The situation changed significantly, and you got a guy like Ersson stepping in. And as you mentioned, I like to think in these last how many games, like, proven to be the number one. Obviously, I think he's got to prove a little bit more to be quote unquote the franchise goalie. You know what I
Right.
mean? Extending, his stay for a significant amount of time. But if he keeps up the way he's going, I mean, the Flyers are giving up some significant offensive chances, and he's
Yes.
finding ways to make some pretty big saves to keep them in these games. So
Yes.
if he keeps developing, staying healthy, I mean, who knows where it lands up, but it's nice to see him finding his game and finding himself. And that's important because if he was shit in the bed, I mean, it could completely change. I mean, the dialogue around this team, and it could be a lot worse than it is.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly.
So, great question. I think
Yep.
time will tell how that one plays out.
For sure.
But he's seeming confident. He's making big saves, and he's making the standard saves, which you got to make. But right now, he's keeping them in games. And probably shouldn't be in. So appreciate the question, Uncle Moke. And last one, Bio1771 on Instagram wonders what's the best sign you've ever seen at a game. Dr. Payne.
Dr. Payne. I was gonna say when Hartsey sent me around to find out what the numbers were, the Hartnell down numbers.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
That one was good, and Chemo actually said the other night, I don't know if you saw the play, Riles, you may have been on the ice with him. He went down hard. And he goes, Hartnell down.
Oh, yeah.
So that hasn't happened in a while, but that one was pretty good too. So
big tree
great question though. That's funny.
Yeah. And that's a wrap, Nast.
That's it?
That's it. Clear questions in the book.
All right.
Episode 190 in the books. We're on our way.
We're on our way, buddy.
10 away from $200.
Two bills.
We gotta start talking about who we're gonna get on for $200.
I got some ideas in the
works. Some great ideas. Oh yeah.
Got some ideas.
Nasty's working behind the scenes.
Trying.
Tracking people down.
Behind Baller's desk right now in the stew.
Yeah, you are.
Using his desk.
Well, you're looking good, Nast.
You too, buddy.
Appreciate the energy. Thanks to all you knuckleheads for tuning in, asking some great questions, supporting, and listening, checking in on us. So until next week for 191, stay safe, knuckleheads.
See ya.